What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Lost Ark video, and today, guys, we have some freaking big news from Smilegate and Amazon Gaming, and it's a doozy. So if a lot of you are following the Lost Ark drama, we all know that Argos obviously came out last week, or this current patch, and you know, it's caused an uproar for a lot of players because it has made the game extremely pay to win, which already had a bad rep when it came out to the Western world, and a lot of folks are upset because of obviously a couple things. Number one, majority of people who can access it now are people who are spending a lot of money on RMT, and if you know what RMT is, that's real money transactions where people are buying gold, or people are just whaling nonstop and trying to get to that point, right? And a lot of people now are left in the dust and not able to do Argos, and so what a lot of people have been waiting for, including myself. I'm still actively playing the game, clearly, but they're waiting for an apology and some news about the whole situation from Smilegate / Amazon. And here it is, guys. They've actually brought it out from the team, and this is essentially an apology. So I'm going to read this with you guys. I'm going to skim through it, but I'm going to give you guys the gist of what exactly is happening. Okay, so we can't believe it's already been a month since Lost Ark launched to Western audiences. Our team at Amazon Games and Smilegate RPG have been working tirelessly on stability, combating bots, preparing new content, and much more behind the scenes. This is a big one, guys, right here. And especially because the bots have been out of control, and they have been banning millions of them, but there's still more to come, obviously, and they're still around. So that's a big one. And preparing new content, they're going to address, obviously, what's been happening, right? We appreciate the support and patience from the millions of players around the world. And before diving into our team update, we'd like to thank the millions of heroes who have set foot in Arkesia and joined us for the start of this adventure. So I'm not going to read the rest of that part of it. We're going to just jump into the meat of the actual of the update itself. Okay, so a look behind the curtain: progression, Argos, content, roadmap, and skins. So launching Lost Ark has been a wonderful and humbling experience in the West, and great learning experience from us at Amazon Games and Smilegate RPG. Our journey has been filled with late nights, creative problem solving, hopping into Western servers to play together, and now looking ahead at things to come. Alright, to set the stage, we'd like to reiterate some thoughts on progression. This is a big one, guys. This is what actually ended up causing a lot of the drama, right? We shared earlier this month, in other regions, players had to stay in Tier 1 and Tier 2 for considerable duration, as Tier 3 had not yet been released. So they're talking about Korea. In the Western release, Lost Ark launched with Tier 1, 2, and 3 content. The intention is that Tier 1 and 2 will be used as a road for players to understand that many systems in Lost Ark, encouraging players to explore the vast world of Arkesia and learn how intricate mechanics play out. The first two tiers are designed as a mid-game prologue for the wealth of end-game Tier 3 content that Smilegate RPG has developed since their original launch. As Gold River, that is a Lost Ark's game director, recommended, you are progressing at your own speed and enjoy the horizontal content such as exploration, collectibles, quests, and more alongside your vertical item level progression. A lot of players are currently progressing through Tier 1 and Tier 2, but some have already hit Tier 3, and we know this, right? Ready to vanquish endgame challenges. Our goal has always been to players to progress at whatever pace they see fit. The Western version of Lost Ark launched with content at and above item level 1370, such as Night Fox Yoho, Velganis Guardians, World Bosses, Ghost Pirate Ships, Chaos Dungeons, Abyssal Dungeons, Hard Mode, and Punica, partially due to the player feedback we received in our closed beta. And that's appreciated. Clearly that's appreciated, but that's not the problem, right? The problem clearly is the fact that it takes an arm and a leg to get past 1370 to be able to do a lot of this content. So let's see if they address that. With that important context, let's talk about Argos. And here is where it all begins. We've seen players' concerns that releasing Argos before a significant portion of the player's base has progressed through Tier 3 made Lost Ark feel pay to win. Wow, they actually say it point blank. And they're right. It has become pay to win, and there's no way to go around that. We never wanted players to feel rushed in their quest to hit item level 1370. We considered having Argos available at launch, but viewed the Abyss Raid as an important stepping stone, helping bridge the gap to endgame activities that have yet to be released in the Western version of Lost Ark. We're looking at you, Legion Raids. That lens, we wanted to give Argos a spotlight and a special introduction to Arkesia, and that's fine. That's totally fine. I'm okay with that. Like, for them to release Argos as a special standalone patch update and release based on their roadmap, that's zero. There's zero issues here. It doesn't stem from the release. It stems from the fact that the actual sorry guys, let me move my camera over a little more here. It stems from the fact that the actual release date and the honing challenges is where the problem lies, right? Like, the release date is fine if the honing kind of followed suit. Like, if we could hone quicker to get to 1370 so a lot more people can do this raid, then it would make sense. And a lot of people are going to say, well, Payne, why do you want to see that happen? Like, some players don't deserve to be there. You're right, but those players wouldn't still get there anyways, right? The people that are super casual, even with the honing changes, they're not going to do enough content grinding or enough material gathering to get there. It's those people who are close, like myself. I'm at 1366. I've been there forever. Like, I'm talking about like almost 4 weeks now, and there's zero luck for me here. And I've used like all of the mats, like the solar mats and stuff, to try to get more percentages, and I've been stuck. Like, I finally got my first item to 15 after 3.5 weeks of trying, guys. It's ridiculous. So that's, I think, where the problem stands, right? We made a mistake releasing the March game update too quickly after launch. I still don't agree with that. I still think the honing changes is what's the most necessary part of this game. Data we analyzed along Smilegate RPG from the previous launch projected that a large portion of players would have reached the level required to challenge Argos. That's where they're wrong. However, okay, so this is where they're admitting it. We overlook certain variables such as players spending more time on horizontal content and the price of honing materials increasing due to bots and real money transactions, and that is a fact. That is a fact. That is a huge problem, clearly. These factors contributed to a scarcity of T3 honing materials. Together, our team at Amazon Games and Smilegate RPG are continuing to gather data on play patterns in the Western version to better inform our future content roadmap. We appreciate the patience support you've had from the community while we continue to learn together and work on updating our roadmap, and apologize for the confusion of the early excitement has generated. So here I don't see them talking about honing at all. So I'm assuming the reason why. So and here's my problem with the honing, right? Not only are we getting scarcity material because of bots and all this stuff, but they also didn't release a lot of content that Korea has when this got released. Like, they have way more options to get honing materials than we do, and they've never released that content to the Western world. So not only are we getting less material options through content and bots, but we're also getting the same percentage they got with more options. So they should have, they should have like reprimanded that by giving us a higher percentage, in my opinion, right? So they talk about that. So here we go. After analyzing data and listening to player feedback across all community channels, we believe that an update that helps adventurers progress with the content currently in game is more important than releasing new in-game content. We'll expand on this below in the honing section. With that said, players should feel encouraged to progress at whatever pace they're most comfortable with. And I think that hasn't changed, really. However, there's a wealth of in-game content that needs to arrive in Arkesia. Endgame content will be introduced, but players should continue progressing at their own pace. Our goal is to provide fun content for players, even if it's at a higher level, while never making players feel pressure that they need to pay to progress. And that is clearly what's happening, guys. Flexibility has always been a driving force in the collaboration between our teams, as has ensuring that players are able to enjoy and play Lost Ark however they see fit. From adjustments to monetization from the Western versions, like making sure that aside from some account level features, everything can be earned in game, to listening to player feedback on content timing, we want to remain flexible, and that's great. I'm glad they're admitting this, guys, and they are clearly listening to us. I mean, they have to. They lost so many players, right? I mean, like, and that's normal for MMORPGs to lose players in the first month or so, because a lot of people get burnt out, or they realize the game's not for them due to certain features, or they get to a point and they hit a wall, and people are just like, you know what, I'm done with this. Patience is not a big thing in our generation. We know this, right? So Amazon Games and Smilegate RPG will continue to monitor, but feel that Legion Raids, the definitive Lost Ark raiding experience, should be released after players have acquired enough materials to be confident and ready to be for the complicated challenges awaiting them. And those are the Legion Raids are the end game content, guys. That's what everybody talks about in Korea. That's the real deal content that everybody wants to raid, right? But they're right. We're not ready for that yet, clearly, because people don't have the gear score. Don't worry, more content is still to come. Horizontal content like new classes, that's great. Islands and content of South Vern will be released as planned, so that's awesome. So new content is coming. We'll share a more comprehensive look into our content roadmap for April and May in the near future. And that's coming very soon, guys, right? So hopefully we get it sooner than later. Okay, now that they've discussed that, they want to move on to cosmetics and advanced classes. All right, so let's talk about that real quick here. These two categories of content are intertwined, which is one of the reasons that speeding up is tricky. Existing skins in the Korean versions were released before some classes, requiring art and development time to rig models with skins for newer classes and the special weapons that accompany them. Still, we're releasing skins at a faster rate than we originally did in Korea. It will continue to listen to player feedback about the tempo of their release. So their goal, guys, essentially is to catch us up. Like, they even say it, right? I mean, at one point, the goal is to catch up. There it is right there. And that's the right thing to do, because you don't want us to feel behind all the time. Like, I hate when games do that, where one region is so far ahead that you can find spoilers, or you know what to look forward to. I'd rather be surprised when the stuff comes down the pipe. All right, so let's get down to the economy, bots and honing materials. This is the big one, guys, for me personally. Okay, so let's just talk straight. So a shortage of tier 3 progression materials, coupled with problems introduced by bots, have made honing materials too expensive and a burden for players. Absolutely right. To combat this, we will be supplying more progression materials for players to earn through fun in-game events, injecting more gold into mid to end game, and continue our hard stance against bots. Alright, so let's talk about bots in general. Bots have been a problem since the launch. Even though we banned them as quickly as we could, they keep springing up. Bots will always be an issue. They're always going to find ways to come back, right? I mean, but big ups to them for trying. Like, it's the effort that matters. Thanks to the mass of bots around the timing of the Argos, they banned mass of them, sorry, update and the removal of early game gold that attracted them in the first place, we've seen a steep decline in bot activity and bot farm gold that used to inflate the prices of honing materials. We will continue to take a hard stance against the remaining bots to make them inefficient while ensuring active players can access gold to create a better experience for all. Okay, so here it is. Injection of honing materials. In next week's update, assuming that's not this week coming up, obviously the following week, so maybe not this update, maybe the following one, I'm not sure. We'll provide additional Grand Prix honing rewards, including new casual event Guardian race to supply players with honing materials. That's great. So more content to do, a little bit more work obviously, but we're going to get more material. And kick off the first season of competitive Proving Ground, so that's PvP. Event Guardian raids. In this event, you can enjoy Guardian raids in a more casual way, relax, play, and get honing materials. Similar to the Grand Prix, you can enter once a day per roster and earn event-specific coins to spend on rewards at a new vendor. That's awesome, guys. This vendor can be found in major cities along the entrance to the new activity. In this event, Scale of Balance is applied to change the character's stats to match the Guardian's level. And the difficulty is adjusted according to the number of participants in the raid. So nothing changes there, except for the fact that it's scaled now, right? That part does change. So you can't just help people through it and carry them. Players will be able to challenge Helgia, Frost Helgia, Lumeris, Urnil, Virtus, Chromanium, Nacrocina, Dark Legoros, Icy Legoros, Calventus, and Levanos. This event will last for roughly a month, and players with item level 250 and above can participate. Alright, that's great. So more ways to get honing material. That's fantastic. Arkesia Grand Prix adjustment. So we're adding tailoring books and metallurgy books to the reward table for players to increase their honing rates. That's awesome. And we've increased the number of event coins earned to help players to get to items. So this is great. That actually increases your percentage to for honing. So that's amazing that they're adding that. That's going to be a big thing for a lot of people. So that makes people want to do the event more often, right? And then lastly, PvP rewards. For those doing PvP, they're actually setting up a variety of rewards, including access to weekly honing materials. We'll have dedicated articles, announcements, details on the next week one. So we don't know much about this one. So in conclusion, guys, we know there's a lot to unpack above. The event, and even with the context information, you may have questions, concerns, and feedbacks. They're really good at replying to the community, I have to say. I'm a big fan of that. The gifts, they're providing us gifts like they did in Korea to commemorate our release, and they're so grateful that they're going to join us to give us gifts as well. So what are we getting? We're getting new animal skin selection chests. That's awesome. Okay, so that's right down here, I'm assuming. That's interesting. Okay, let me go back here, guys. What else are we getting here? Oopsie, sorry. Let's go back. How do I go back here? Oh, I gotta exit this. That's crazy. We're getting Mokoko pet selection chest, so that's probably one of these ones. We're getting the board mount. Oh, that's sick. We're getting a mount. That's amazing. Lost Ark United structure. That's this right here. Appearance change ticket. 132 Fions. Metallix tomes. That's for the cards. Legendary card pack. That's great. And jukebox songs that will provide when jukebox content released in the future. With such an expansive and complex game, there will be nuances and differences between players in each region, but this is just the start of the adventure. Our team at Amazon Games and Smilegate will continue to listen to players and analyze the data for the right new endgame content as we try to catch up. Listen, applause, man. It's great. All of this is great. It still doesn't answer my question about honing material, but they kind of did, and to some extent. They're adding the books that increase honing material to the Grand Prix now, which is amazing. So that actually does kind of take care of that problem to some extent. It's a different method of taking care of the problem rather than changing your scripts and your systems. You're doing it through in-game mechanics and items. That's great. I'm happy. And the fact is now we have a new content to come out for honing materials, which is the more casual Guardian raid. So honestly want to say well done, Amazon and Smilegate, on this. I think and I hope you want a lot of your players back, because I left a bad taste on a lot of players' mouths, and I'm hoping that with this update, guys, we can see an improvement in the game and in the quality of players, and the numbers grow for this, because I love this game. This is all I really play, guys. So for me, it's a big deal that they do this right, and not only that, but it's going to make bigger content creators promote your game more, which is going to draw more people to play this, right? So again, well done, guys. I'm looking forward to this. I hope you are as well too. Leave a comment in the section and let me know what you think about the update. Has it answered all of the problems that you had? What would you have liked to see added to this? And are you excited for this? Those are more important. All right, guys, this is Payne. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy playing Lost Ark, and I'll hopefully see you on the Eastern servers. Take care, guys.